Welcome everybody to Monday night Prosperity and Health Alliance webinar. Thank you so much for joining us, and if you're catching in the replay on this, thank you for showing up and adding to the value of your own business. My name is Creel Hutchinson. I'm going to be running the show tonight. Wade Lightheart, who's been the hardest working man in Enagic and other places, is traveling the globe and won't not be available this evening. So I'm going to fill his shoes. Big shoes to fill, but we've got an important topic that we want to cover tonight. It's the inviting formula, what you need to do. So this has come from a Super Saturday training. We've done bits and pieces of this. We want to put something all encompassing, all new together. So sit back, enjoy. It should take us about 45 minutes or longer, and this should be a good one that you can share with your team. So success is formula for financial independence in network marketing is your ability to get a large group of people to consistently do a few simple things over an extended period of time. What's required to do that is a system. Everybody needs to be thinking and doing the same actions. The ABCs, the 1, 2, 3s, the PH Alliance system. So we've shown you all this and you're all very familiar. ABC, invite, open, and coach. 1, 2, 3, get your system, get your website, get your training. That's what we teach here at the PH Alliance. When you sign up for our training system, you get 24 emails in 90 days that kind of walks you through the best of the best training, what you really need to do in a very sequential, comprehensive way. So the key to that entire training and the key really to understand what your job here in network marketing is sharing education to create understanding. Basically, we're teachers. We are educators, and we're trying to deliver our product, our message, our service, our opportunity in the best way possible so that it creates understanding to the person we're speaking with. Network marketing skills that you will need to hone and develop in order to be successful. The good thing is you don't need to do these all at the same time. They come in a kind of a sequence as you learn and grow. So these are the 7 skills as promoted by Eric Worre in his best-selling book, Go Pro, which if you haven't read it or listened to it, you want to do that immediately. So skill number 1, finding prospects. Skill number 2, inviting. Then you have presenting, follow up, closing, getting people started, and promoting events. In this webinar, we're going to focus on the red ones, finding prospects, inviting, follow up, and closing. These are keys. First and foremost, emotionally detach. Being an entrepreneur, you have signed up for an emotional roller coaster. Some days are going to be great, some days are going to be terrible, right? So you got to be prepared to deal with the ups and the downs. There's generally a lack of understanding regarding health, water, business, financial literacy, network marketing, and a prevalent self-limiting belief system in the world that you will face daily. And it will try to suck you down with it. So be prepared. You got to emotionally detach. Take the massive action, but don't get caught up in your ups and downs. Be consistent. Be yourself. Bring passion and joy to your work. Tell the truth and have a really strong posture. We know we have something very valuable here that transforms people's life. Own it. You don't have to. You never have to defend what you have to offer here. And remember, you're in sales. Market research continuously proves the obvious. A person needs to know you, your reputation, your product or service before he or she is willing to purchase from you. Building visibility, familiarity, and a positive reputation takes time and a series of memorable contacts. How many contacts or drips, we like to refer to them, depends on many factors, such as the price, complexity of your product, the need versus the want, competition, etc. But the truth is, the sales process is exactly that, a process. So you need to get really clear in your mind that the average person needs between 4 and 12 exposures to what we have going on here with Kangen Water and Enagic, and on average, it's going to be 7 points of contact before a person will purchase from you. So don't try to hit a home run the first time, because if you keep trying to do that and you strike out, you're going to get bad performance. Whereas if you're hitting singles all the time, you're going to understand that, hey, things are starting to happen. You want to move from one exposure to the next exposure to the next exposure. And we're going to talk about that during this webinar. Skill number 1, finding prospects. Identify your target market and connect to it. And so this is important to reflect on who you are, what group of people best relate to you, who respects you. Often we try to be something we're not, or we see it's working for someone in an adjunct doing it a certain way and we try to copy that, and that's not necessarily authentic to who we are. Figure out who that is. It's really about owning your skill set, who you are, your likes, your dislikes, and connect to people, because there's going to be thousands, if not millions of people who are feeling the exact same way. So you make your list of the people that you know, that you have cold market and warm market contacts there. Reach out and start making appointments. The goal is to get in front of people face to face, but you need to start that process by text messages, phone calls, social media, reach out. Sometimes this feeling a person out, making that contact, if you ever spoken to a person in weeks, months, years, can take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 exposures before we move on. So first and foremost, finding your prospects. You cannot underestimate how many people you really need to speak to. In order to get to 6A, you're going to need to put this information in front of 500 people to get 100 people to say yes. So make your list big and reach out. And those people will lead you to more people, which is a good thing. What I like to do is a text list. I usually do this on Mondays. I like to reach out to the large group of people that I want to make contact with. So at different times and different schedules and so forth, that's going to be dependent on where you're at in your business. If you're all out massive action, rather than hitting the same people every day, what I prefer to do is Monday is really where I take a lot of outward expression, sending text messages, social media stuff. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I'm starting to kind of catch that information as it comes back to me and then responding to it. So text blitzing could include, in a 2-hour session, reach out to 20, 50, 100 people. You think it's not possible. If you sit down and scroll through your phone, you will find them. Text message could be, how's it going? Wonder if you're free for a coffee next week to catch up. Hey bro, been a while. Want to get together next week and catch up? Hey, miss ya. Let's do coffee this week. There's a number of different ways. Hey, I saw your post on Facebook. Looks really awesome what you're up to on your last trip. Hey, I'd love to get together and chat with you. There's a number of creative ways where you can start to make contact with people that you've known from the past or you've just met. So texting is a great way to do that, but you can also do that through social media, right? The goal is to get face-to-face with someone, because education and understanding can happen much faster then. You also build trust and friendships. People need to buy, as we saw earlier, people need to buy from people that they trust and know, so it's developing a relationship, right? You can create intrigue, and you can qualify prospects properly. How do we do this? Through asking questions and telling stories, right? This is kind of if you want to, like the tools that you bring to make this business happen is asking questions and telling stories. Prospecting. Identify your prospects' core needs. What is motivating their why? Ask questions from big picture to small picture. This is really important. I think people don't spend enough time really getting to know the person who's in front of them. And the person will tell you eventually what they're looking for. Health, wealth, happiness, what's working, what's not working. And if you feel like there's an opportunity to connect, that's when we can move forward. So here's the prospecting. Tonality. Apply specific tonality that suggests when asking questions that you care and I'm just like you. So rather than being like a sergeant in the military and you're drilling someone, what's their health like, you can switch that around and you really use tonality. I think Jordan Belfort's Straight Line Persuasion does a fantastic job of going in depth into the tonality and how to ask questions and how to rise voice inflections and so forth. Definitely worth checking out, and we'll cover that at the end of the show. You're here to help someone versus I'm trying to sell to you, right? And some people, this is natural. Other people, they need to work on this, especially if they got a really strong kind of masculine voice that can intimidate people. You got to learn how to work that. Right? Here's some key questions I like to ask, especially if I'm looking for product kind of input. How's your health? Are you satisfied with your current health situation? Have you ever heard of alkaline water? What type of water are you currently drinking? What current health programs or products are you using? Have you ever heard of preventative health care? Are you open to exploring a new level of health at this time? Would you be interested in looking better and feeling younger? How serious about you are changing your health situation? some business-oriented questions. And this could be for warm market and cold market, people that you've just met. Are you getting paid what you're worth? Do you keep your business options open? Are you happy with your current work situation? Have you ever considered work that offers you residual income? Have you ever considered working from home? Are you satisfied with your current financial situation? Do you see yourself working here for the next 5 years and getting what you want, where you want to be? Does your work fulfill you and make you happy? Are you serious about changing your current financial situation? Now, obviously, these kind of questions need to be put into a conversation at the appropriate time with their appropriate tonality in order to create a really nice conversation and gather some information. So you want to warm up to that, and there's a, we're all social human beings, and so we know how to become friends and ask questions and go from big picture down to more small picture stuff like we're starting to get into right here. Right. The key is to listen. If you ask enough questions and learn to listen, people will tell you what they're looking for and what their hot buttons are. If you can identify what they want, then inviting them to look at your business or product becomes much easier because it's not about you anymore. It's about them and solving their issue. This is really key. In order for people to take action, say yes, and to continue to take action, you really want to figure out what are they looking for? Why would they buy a Kangen water machine? Why would they want to start running their own business? This is the key nuggets that you're looking for in these conversations. Build a network marketing story. So you're asking questions, telling stories, and these can be put in at different times. As a new person to the industry, one of the first things you need to do is start creating your network marketing story. You want to become very effective at telling your story because people will ask you, what do you do or what's new all the time? This is your opportunity to share effectively and be able to create intrigue regarding Kangen Water, the product and the new business venture that you're undertaking. Older distributors, I suggest creating a newer, more polished version of this. So here's a few examples. Or here's the formula. Telling my story. What your background is, what you didn't like about what you were previously doing, you found a solution in Agic or Kangen Water, and how you feel about the future of your results moving forward. Here's an example. What's new? Someone asks you, you're out in the town, hey, what's new? Wow, things have really changed for me. You may not have known this, but I was struggling in the last few years with stress related to no time as I was always working. I was feeling overwhelmed and getting depressed with increased rents, real estate, and the price of living. It sucked. Then a buddy introduced me to a business. I never ran my own business before, but I'm feeling stoked with what it has already happened and what the next few years are looking like. So I got more time and more money to connect with friends, and I'm super happy. Thanks for asking. You deliver that, there's going to be some kind of response from the person that just listened to that, especially if there's a listener and they're interested. So here's another example. What's new? Well, you may not have known this, but I've been struggling the last few years with my health. I was feeling overwhelmed and super low energy. It sucked. A buddy introduced me to something super simple that changed everything for me. I don't want to even tell you about it because most people don't believe me. A special kind of water. I feel better than I have in years, and I'm so thankful. There you go. Very effective story that's going to create a little bit of intrigue, and a person's probably going to ask, well, tell me more about that. So you've been finding prospects, asking questions, telling stories, sending your text messages, getting people to the point where they're talking to you either in person or over the phone, and then you're going to do skill number 2, which is inviting. Right? Successful people are not hunters. Successful people build friendships and create trust, like we've been talking about. Right? Skillful people transfer their beliefs about their products and opportunity. The goal is not to immediately recruit prospects. This is key. It's going to take a couple exposures, education. Goal is to educate them on what we have to offer and let the prospect decide. Be more like a consultant. Right? The Inviting Formula by Eric Worre, which is covered very well in his GoPro book, but also in his advanced training, which is 7 or 8 full CDs. They're about an hour long each. So quickly going through this. Number one, be in a hurry. And number two, sincere compliment. This can be easily worked into different things. So how do you say, hey, how to be in a hurry if you're meeting someone for coffee? Well, maybe the invitation for them to take an action step happens in the last 5 minutes you're with them rather than at the very beginning, right? So be in a hurry, sincere compliment. We all are able to do that. Make the invitation. Number 4, if I do this, would you do that? Number 5, get the time commitment. Number 6, confirm the time commitment. Number 7, schedule the call and phone number. And number 8, get off the phone. So there are different ways to invite, different options, and we're going to cover those right here. Number 1 option, invite people to a live event. This is meeting another person, and this is taking someone to a demo, a 3-way call, group presentation at a home, online webinar, demo, and convention. You know, something where there's definitely, this is happening at a certain time, you're going to come with me or meet me there. Events are the most effective physical interaction for meeting with other people, and it helps to build trust in our business really fast. People get to see that other people are involved. There's usually education on the product, financial opportunity, and support given at presentations, which we've all been to. And people get to hear other testimonials and stories. So it validates what we're trying to educate someone on very quickly. Here's the difficulty. You could invite 20 people to a demo and you get 2 or 3 people coming out, right? So this is not the most effective way initially to build a very duplicating business. Check out option 2. Invite people to review a third-party tool. This can be a CD, a DVD, magazines, brochure, websites, online presentations. In today's world, we're doing a lot more of like, links to a video or check out a presentation, something that is a little bit more flexible for somebody. Tools are a better first step to build a large and duplicating organization. It helps education and understanding. It also becomes one of the early steps of exposures to a person. So couple exposures of texting and setting up, and then you have a meeting with someone, then you invite them to review something. So that's another exposure. We want people want to know what we have and how it can benefit their lives. People are busy. They might not have the time to drive across town and meet with you. They could listen to something in a CD in the car, watch a short DVD, read magazines. So I have seen new distributors get really caught up in trying to invite someone just to a live event and not realizing, hey, there's this whole other avenue of building your business. Some people just do that because they're too busy to make it out to events. So you really want to make sure that you're utilizing both of these, and it will work differently for the prospect that you're talking to. Step number 3, make the invitation. You have 3 ways to do this. You can do this direct approach. So you use this when you're inviting people to learn more about an opportunity for them. Reserve this for people you know and respect, or people that you are searching for something, that you know are searching for something better. So if you had a friend you hadn't seen in a while, you text message, you get together, you're having a coffee date, it's gone really well, you asked a bunch of questions, then you're able to make a direct approach. Say, example, when you told me you were unhappy with your job, were you serious? I think I have something that might be a solution. Would you be interested? Chances are they're going to say yes. Right? Indirect approach. You ask the prospect for help, input, or guidance. Used extensively with great success when first getting started. Right? You learn to play yourself down and play up to the prospect's ego. Right? Here's an example for a warm market. I just started a new business and I'm really nervous. Before I get going, I need to practice on someone friendly. Would you be willing to check it out for me and give me some feedback? Great approach for family and friends. Cold market. When you meet someone from another city, state, or country, you could say, you're on an airplane, right? My company is expanding in your area. Would you do me a favor? Take a look at and see if you think it would work there. Very easy. It doesn't put any pressure on them. They're simply there to help you. And people love to help. Here's the third way you can send an invitation, which is super indirect approach. Powerful because it works on a number of psychological levels, especially when you feel like the person you're talking to, you feel intimidated by, or they're above you, whether in their success, status, and so forth. You can tell prospects that they're not the prospect. You're just interested in finding out if they know someone who might benefit from your business. So here's an example, warm market. The business My business clearly isn't for you, but may I ask, do you know anyone that might be looking for a strong business that they could run from home? Question mark. Right? So you're kind of asking them, hey, do you know anyone in your area that is looking to improve their health, is looking to improve their financial situation, is looking for more mobility in how they make money, right? Normally, they might be a little curious. No, you're going to say yes or no. And if they say yes, that curiosity, you're going to invite them to take a look at the information because they're going to look at the information usually before they send somebody, right? That's how it works. Step 4, if I, would you? So it's kind of a bit of a game here. You know, you want to be very specific on what you're asking the person to do and what they're agreeing to. So if I sent you an email with 2 video links to watch, it would take you about 30 minutes. Would you watch it? If I send you a text with a short 10-minute video, would you watch it? If I invited you to a 1-hour webinar, would you check it out? If I sent you to a 50-minute documentary to help explain our business options, would you check it out? If I invited you to a seminar on Tuesday night at 7 p.m. that would answer all your questions, would you come with me and check it out? If I, would you? These are magic words, and it makes it very comfortable, right? Because you don't actually ask the person to do anything before they agree that they'd be open to doing something. Number 5, you get the time commitment. They say, yeah, I'd watch it. Great. When do you think you'll be able to watch the video? It's only 10 minutes long and I can text it to you now, right? When do you think you'll be able to watch the DVD, right? Great. If so, okay, let me pick you up early on Tuesday so that we can make it there. How about 6 o'clock? You really want to be specific to get this time commitment, right? You want to ask them when are they going to watch it. So it doesn't really matter what they say. You're just looking for them to give you feedback. So let's say we use, hey, I'll send you a text message. If I sent you a text message with a 10-minute video, would you watch it? Yes, I'd watch it. When do you think you'd watch it? Well, I'll watch it sometime today. Okay, great. They've committed to that. Whenever you get a commitment and you could say, well, you know, they've already agreed to that. So 90% of the time, they will give you an answer. 10% of the time, they will be vague and they'll say, oh, I'll get to it, or in the next couple of days. All you want to say is, I don't want to waste your time or mine. Why don't we just lock in a time that you can read it or check it out so that I can get your feedback? You just put a little bit of like, hey, let's make this real, you know, like it's only 10 minutes of your time, let's do it. Normally that's going to work and they're going to say, okay, great, I'll watch it tonight. And then you can confirm the commitment saying, excellent. So that means if I check you back tomorrow, that you'll have watched it and we can talk about it. How would talking with you in the morning? Yeah, the morning will work, or I'm at work. How about after work then? So you want to make sure you get the commitment and then you book the time afterwards to follow up with them. Here's an example. If they say I'll watch the video links by Tuesday night, your response. So if I call you on Wednesday morning, you'll have seen it for sure. If they say I'll listen to the CD Thursday morning, your response. So if I call you sometime later that day, Thursday, you'll have listen to it for sure, right? They'll actually say, they'll either say yes or they'll adjust the time themselves, right? So now you've got a confirmed time. Step number 7, schedule a call. You just say, hey, what is the best number for me to reach you at? Say, great, I'll call you Tuesday morning. 10 o'clock sound good? Great. Is this your best number? Yes, it is. Or you need to exchange details if you're meeting them, for the first time or it's cold market. This moves on to step number 8, which is end the appointment. You want to get off the phone or end it face-to-face. Remember, you're in a hurry. Best to say, great, we'll talk to you at the end, gotta run. Too many people make the appointment and then unmake the appointment by talking. Usually the prospect starts to ask you questions of like, oh, well, tell me more about this, what this is, and we start to give little pieces of information rather than saying, hey, you know what? Everything's going to get explained for you in the video. Why don't you just hold off and wait for that, and then we can talk about it. It's going to be much better service to you. So you don't want to give little pieces of information because you can quickly undo it. And here I just want to throw in a little note. On 3-way calls, when you're on a 3-way call with an upline leader and has gotten a prospect to agree to an action step, do not jump in or add to the discussion. Wrap it up and move forward. Really on 3-way calls, you want to sit back and not say anything until the leader invites you back into the conversation, right? Here's a review of the inviting format. Be in a hurry, sincere compliment, make the invitation. If I do this, would you do that? Get the time commitment, confirm the time commitment, schedule a call back and phone number, and get off the phone. Here's the deal, guys. It seems like a lot, but once you start to do this and remember how this works, I've been learning network marketing for 10 years. It works out way better when I follow the formula. It's always going to be unique. Maybe I'll get 80% of it right, but as long as I know what the general formula is and I'm able to teach other people, remember duplication is where success is, that's going to be your best opportunity. And you can practice this formula all the time with people you're trying to get into your business and people in your business, as we'll see in a moment. Here's the inviting theory. They have said yes 4 times. The invitation took minutes. The chances of achieving the goal of education and understanding went from 10% to 80%. Right? Remember, goal of education and understanding, and we will let the third-party tools do most of the work. There's so many things that you can invite people to these days. Quick links, webinars hosted by Anagic on Wednesday nights, demos in your local area, lots of stuff. Inviting. You will use this exact formula several times with each prospect. When you follow up at your agreed upon time, there will be questions asked by you and your prospect. We simply go through the inviting formula again and ask them to look at the next piece of material, video, 3-way call, water demo, a water trial that will help them continue to learn, answer their questions, and expand their knowledge. Remember, 7 exposures. Have patience and work the sales process. Having the exposures occur in the shortest period of time is ideal because the education and the momentum, excitement passes through. So here's a little visual. You want to create massive amounts of awareness, right? If people don't know you or your product, there's a problem. Your business will not be growing. You want people to be talking about you at some level, right? With you or with other people around you. So massive amount of awareness. It creates interest. Then you get people through a decision. So that interest to decision is all about providing education. And then people are willing to take action. For me, sometimes what works best, I know there's a lot of visual learners out there. I'm going to show you just a little bit of a flow chart, what I think this whole process looks like. And it might be helpful for you. So here's your why. You got to understand why you're doing this. And remember every day, right? Then we're starting with texting, phone calls, hangouts, daily encounters, right? You're prospecting, right? In those encounters, you're asking questions and telling stories, which we've already covered, right? And then you're going to do number A, which is inviting. And you've got 2 options. You're going to invite people to a third-party tool or to a live event. At different times, one will be the right option. After that, you're going to follow up with the person, either right at the event or at the time that you had already chosen, and you're going to say, what did you like best about the presentation? What did you like best about the video? What did you like best about the webinar? What did you like best about the testimonial? Right? And listen. And you want to gather as much information. Generally what happens, there's a positive response, and then there's some questions or some objections. And as you can see, you've got 2 more boxes. One will have questions and one will have objections, which we'll talk about the feel, felt, found. You're going to deal with those, and then you're going to repeat this process of inviting them to take a look at the next piece of information that will answer their question or the next piece of information that will deal with their objection, right? Third-party tool or live event. And you're going to go through that process over and over and over again, right? We'll come back to this chart as we move along here, but just imagine there's a visual to this, right? Skill number 4 is the follow-up. What did you like best about? You want to listen, handle objections, and answering questions, right? Please follow up on time. Be professional. You did all the effort to set a time, follow up. Feel, felt, found. This is the best way to handle objections, covered in the next slide. You can also tell your story as an effective way to help educate and answer questions or deal with objections. You can ask questions of the person to get them thinking, and you want to invite them again, right? Handling the objections and questions. The feel, felt, found formula. This is really kind of the easiest way for a new person and really anyone at any level to deal with objections, because realize the best way you can be prepared to deal with any objection is to know that they're going to happen. So what's the one that we're all familiar with is price objection. This costs too much. I know exactly how you feel. I felt the same way when I was introduced to this. What I found was a system that makes all these waters and improves my health daily was worth it. It is actually one of the best investments I've made, and I know you will feel the same in a few years. Would you be interested in learning about how to get the system for $100 to $120 a month? Yes. Maybe they say yes, you continue with the inviting formula. The feel, felt, found. We all have, you can see feel, felt, found, and then you can tell your own story, you know, of how it's transformed you. Yes, I thought it was expensive. I found this, and here's what happened to my health or to somebody else's health. Right? Internet trash. We know that's out there, competition and so forth. I know exactly how you feel. When I was introduced to this and started to look online, I was shocked at all the Kangen slamming and felt uncertain too. But I continued to investigate further and learned most of what I saw was pure marketing. Would you be interested in learning more about the brand names and the differences in systems? They say yes. If I sent you a video that explains it, would you watch it? Right? You move back to the inviting formula. More inviting. Practice this formula with people at all levels of your business. We will constantly be inviting new and old distributors to take the next step forward in their education and understanding. It never stops, and thus needs to be practiced and become proficient early in your development. It is the gateway skill in network marketing. If you can't find, if your ability to get people to look at our product, service, or opportunity is very low, your network marketing experience is going to be very poor. Honing this skill, you know, and where this webinar is doing a really nice job of explaining that whole formula. Watch it over and over again. That's what you want to get comfortable at doing. You get good at that, wow. You can be a rock star here, right? Here it is again. Be in a hurry, sincere compliment. Make the invitation. If I do this, would you do that? You get the time commitment, you confirm the time commitment, you schedule a call and phone number, and you get off the phone. Right? Eric Worre in his GoPro book does an excellent job of taking us through the three options, so direct, indirect, and super indirect, and showing how this all works. So rather than going deep into this, you want to back up this webinar and go find that information and review it over and over again. Right? You want to know your tools. This is important. What video links do you send? Usually there's about a dozen, for me, even less, like 6 videos I really like to send to really educate people at the front end. You know, once they get through that, then there's another, you know, group of 6 that I will advance the education. How do you send them? You can text, email, or Facebook. Ask the person what works best for them. Product versus business based on qualification. Honestly, I feel like I'm doing both all the time, but if I know someone is really focused on one thing, then I'm sending the information there. You choose 1 or 2 links to get their attention. Don't send them everything that you have expecting them to look through it. That's not how people operate. Very busy. You want to ask them to look at 1 or 2 pieces of information, 10 minutes to 30 minutes. That's the attention span, right? Don't overload with information. Additional information can happen later to deal with objections and to create further understanding. You need multiple exposures, so you know, try not to use everything right at the beginning. It doesn't work. You've got Vimeo, YouTube, Dr. Donaldson, Rise Movies, EWS, Health Success Center. There's a ton of great places to get information, right? Review the PH Alliance template emails, which can be found in our training system. And if anyone ever had issues getting on, there's a brand new link available. So if you've had issues, just reach out to your leader for that link. The template emails. Download them, set up the template folder in the email account. This is all covered in the training system. What I want to say about the template emails is they are templates. They're designed to be generic, right? So you're not going to use all the text, all the links in there. Maybe there's like 5 or 6. You want to cut and paste the key ones to send to your person. So they're templates, meaning you want to come along and rebrand them for yourself. And make sure all the links are good, because we all know Google changes, YouTube links go bad. If you get a bad one, then just put in the title heading and find a replacement. You're going to find the exact same video with a new link somewhere on there and just replace that into the template email. Right? Send emails or specific links via text to educate your prospects' smartphone office. I do it all the time. Here, I'll send you this quick video if you can watch it. People say yes. Practice. Practice with your sponsor. Practice with your team. It's a numbers game. Be unattached. Some will, some won't. That's the reality of this situation. You know, most people say no. Most people don't understand this. So don't get crushed by the no's. Focus on the yes people. Right? Track your invites and numbers. It's always helpful. You can use softwares, notebooks, and write it down. Figure out what's working and what's not working. Talk to your upline. Talk to people that have been successful. Explain exactly what you're doing and the responses you're getting back, right? Now we move on to closing, another skill, right? Asking for a sale is easier when you have done all the previous steps correctly. When people are educated and see value, they buy. When people are confused and unsure, they stall and no buying occurs, right? Attempt to repeat the steps. So whenever there's confusion, you need to go back and invite them to take a look at more information, right? But just realize if you, and we've all been there if you've been in the business for a little while, we get to the point where sometimes we've confused our prospect where we had them in a good place and then we've just sent them too much information or said something, it was out of the flow, and then we've created unclarity, right? And then they've backed away. Jordan Belfer, Straight Line Persuasion, is excellent at really creating the understanding of what needs to happen. People need to fall in love with your product, your company, and you. 10, 10, 10 across the board, and they're buying. So if you feel like a person's not there, which one are they not in love with? Is it you? Is it the company? Is it the product? Figure it out and send the appropriate information and invite them to take a look at it. Here's some closing that I've used. So it seems you have researched the product and opportunity and have found and have had a good experience so far. Are you ready to own one of these life-changing systems for yourself? On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being not interested and 10 being let's get you a system today, where are you at? Right? It can actually be quite a casual conversation, the closing. Hey, you know, you've been checking this out for a while. I'm wondering, you know, are you ready to get one of these systems? Right? You want to put that out there because you actually want objections to arise or questions to arise so that you can move the process along. If you never ask, you're never going to get it, right? Waiting for the person to say, yes, I'm ready to get one of these systems from you, just doesn't happen. People need you to ask, and then they need to probably create a couple objections, and then you're going to find out, well, what objections exactly do you want me to take a look at and invite them to move that past, right? Here's back to the flow chart. So you've invited, they've taken a look at a third-party tool, you followed up, what did they like best? They gave an objection, competition, you invited them back to look at something that reviewed the competition and why we're the best. You ask them, what did you like best? They say, wow, that was really helpful, thank you so much. They have no more questions, they have no more objections, it's feeling good. Then you want to ask them, great, you want to get one of these systems? And the person's going to be like, yeah, or I'm not sure, you know, it's a lot of money. Well, how about the financing? And you handle that again. Eventually, you're going to move forward to B, which is close the sale and open the business. And then C is coach. You're going to turn them into the system. So the ABCs, that's what we're doing over and over and over again. And you want to educate people, your teams, that's what we're doing, everybody, right? Let's do a little review. Perfect world scenario, right? Enagic business overview steps. Number 1, get people interested in your product and business through asking questions, telling story, and listening. Number 2, invite them to take a look at some information related to their interest or hot button. Number 3, send one of the template emails or links to help educate. An email or text can do this. Number 4, follow up with the call to see what did they like best about the information that you sent. Number 5, repeat inviting formula to provide more information, handle objections, handle questions, or invite to 3-way phone calls. Number 6, you could offer a 21-day water trial to create more value. That's an optional process. Not everybody who buys our system does a water trial. Number 7, continuing the education and inviting. Remember that chart, and we'll show it one more time. You just keep looping. You could do this 2 times, 4 times, 6 times. You could do all the way up to 10 times. You need to keep looping the scenario. You want to then explain the difference in the water systems and finance options. When they say yes, you place the order immediately. Do not wait. Building hesitation into your business at any point is a bad idea, and you will lose sales if you do it more than once, you know. And number 10, duplicate. Repeat the process and connect new people to the PH Alliance training system so that they can get started right away. Right. You also want to connect them to their upline leader that you're actively working with, so that brings them into the community. Right. You want to connect that person to, if there's any Facebook groups that you have, emails that to get on, follow up and really plug them in. Treat that person like gold. Right. So those are their 10 steps in the overview. What we personally recommend is these 3. These have been huge helps for me. I love learning, and it's like, why not learn from the best? Eric Worre, basically all his stuff is fantastic. He has trainings that you can participate in. Just go to networkmarketingpro.com, check out what he has to offer. Videos, free stuff, but his GoPro book, excellent. And his also his 8 CDs, his advanced training, excellent stuff. Grant Cardone, he's got great books, 10X, Survivor's Guide to Selling, Survive, or I think it's Sell or Die. There's like 4 or 5 audiobooks. I have access to them. Your leaders should have access to them. I would really recommend, basically what I found is people have different personalities that join our businesses. Eric Worre will work for some, Grant Cardone will work for others, Jordan Belfort will work for some. So you want to make sure you have exposure and you're always learning and developing your skill set while also practicing it and plugging into the team stuff. But you also want to be definitely practicing from people and learning from people that have been very successful. So I'm a big fan of Grant Cardone stuff. And then there's Jordan Belfort, Straight Line Persuasion, and everyone should have access to his training system. If not, contact your upline leader and to get that. All right? The gold standard of Enagic. So I want to thank you guys for your attention to this point. I hope this was a really solid review of what you need to do. Right? We have the 7 skills in network marketing that Eric Worre goes over. We've covered 4 of them really solidly. And you want to just get good at being able to prospect, invite people to take a look at what we have, follow up with them, handle the objections, ask questions, listen, connect them to people in your group, or send them the right information for them to move past that. You know, let them fall in love with your product, with you and the company, get a 10-10-10 across the board, and then eventually they're going to become your business partner or your customer. You want to take care of them both and then turn them on to the coaching side. So I want to thank you for your attention. I'm going to turn it over to any questions that we might have on the line tonight. So I'll hop out of here, and thanks so much, everybody. I see there's a bunch of people on the line, so if you want to throw in your questions, that would be great. And if you have no questions, then we'll wrap it up quickly, but great. Here we go. From Michael Budo, where do I find the template emails and the 6 links to send? Great. You register at the prosperityandhealthalliance.com for your free training. You will receive, you will be embedded into our training system. You will receive 24 emails over 72 days. I'll be an email approximately every 3 days. And on email number 6, I believe, you will have a link that will be to the template folders, and that's in my Dropbox, and then you can download all that stuff. So have you registered for that, Michael? If not, that's the next step for you. And Claire, hi Claire, nice to have you on board. Let's see. How would you follow up with someone who has already told you, I will get back to you once I've watched the videos? And once you follow up after a few days, they still haven't watched it. How can you reapproach the prospect without being too pushy? So here's the key, guys. If you do the inviting formula as I showed you from the beginning, it works. If you don't do the inviting formula and then try to do the inviting formula after, it becomes a hassle. So when a person said, hey, I'll get back to you once I watch the videos, that would have been the right time saying, hey, when do you think you'll be able to watch those videos? They say, well, I'll get back to you. Just say, hey, I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to waste my time. You know, it's only going to take you 10 minutes or 20 minutes. Let's just set up a time and do it. If not, don't worry about it. I give it and I take it away. Otherwise, you're put in this awkward situation where you feel like you're being pushy and you've reached out twice now and they said, hey, the same thing. And the reality is they are in control of the education process. Whereas for me, I always like to be in control of it. So I'm also willing to take away it. Like if someone said is unwilling to commit, I say, hey, you know what? Sounds like this is probably not a good, the right timing for you. It sounds like you're a little bit too busy to look at this information and it's really valuable. So, maybe I'll follow up with you another time. That could catch someone's attention being like, hey, but this guy's serious. So it's difficult once you've, given the information and they've said that twice to do it. Reach back and say, hey, text message, have you been able to take a look at it? No, I haven't. Hey, do you feel like making a commitment so that we can chat about this? I really want to get your feedback on this information. That's how I'd follow up. You have to give them kind of an action step that creates value for them. I'd really love to hear your feedback, or I'm really curious how you're going to think about this. So let's do this. And if they're not willing to do that, they might not just be interested. You might want to go back and think, why would they watch this to begin with? So if they had a health issue and they had a health issue and you invite them, just say, hey, you know what, like, are you still serious about figuring out your health issue? Are you still serious about figuring out your wealth issue? What was the hot button? Remind them of the hot button as creating a little bit of leverage so that they'll commit to doing the action step with you. So I think I gave kind of two answers there. Find the leverage is probably the better answer, and the other one is like you're kind of in a tough place, but you got to keep inviting. So I would try to find what the hot button and the leverage and remind them of that so that they understand what's in it for them to take the action step to look at what you sent them. All right. I hope that's helpful. Let me know if that's helpful for you guys. And hi, Carl. Thanks for being on all the way from Australia. When talking, reconnecting, or meeting new people, and you're building a relationship, yet when asking questions about their life, they make it out or pretend they're happy with the results, that they're not, or people just don't think they have time, or they feel it's something they could or would not or would never do. And ask them why. It sounds like there's a lot of judgment and assumptions going on. So I would be careful not to, label and kind of stick people in different places. Take a genuine interest in moving away from your agenda and moving towards like, what is this person? I want to connect to this person. What are they really looking for in their life? And that's going to ask people, hey, why do you think this would not be a fit for you? Hey, and if people are saying, like you suggested, that they're happy, just then ask kind of a little deeper questions, being like, okay, well, if you're really clear on what their job and everything, and just saying, hey, well, have you ever thought of working from home rather than going to this job that you're in? Do you think you'd be happier then? Give them something to compare to, because people are sometimes happy and content. They generally aren't going to be the prospects that you're looking for. It's the people that are unsatisfied, are looking for solutions. So you want to maybe present something that they haven't thought about and say, hey, do you think you'd be happier, over here with more energy, or, losing 20 pounds, or, making an extra couple of grand a month working from home, that like only cost you 8 to 10 hours a week. You know, so I think you want to make a very distinct goal or example of what life could be like if they had that. Would they be happier? I hope that helps, Carl. Hi, Sonia. Let me know, give me some feedback, Carl, if that makes sense, or you want to go a little deeper into that question. Hi, Sonia. In a networking group, when you're asked to do a 1-minute commercial for your business, can you give examples? Here's what, yes, I think going to the BNI and doing all that stuff is awesome way to learn. What I would suggest is you write down your 1-minute scripts and pitches so that you can do that. Well, here's one that Wade says all the time. Hey, I'm working with a group of socially conscious entrepreneurs that are actively looking for new people who are interested in making a 5- and 6-figure income in the next 6 to 12 months by improving the health, wealth, and lifestyle of other people. Would anyone be interested to know more about that? Right? There's an example. I like things that are like 2 sentences. You know, what do you do? Well, I travel around the world. I'm giving education and lectures on water. My mission is to help improve people's health, wealth, and lifestyle through a transformative project based out of Japan. There's a ton of different ways to do it. So those would be a few examples. I think we have sent this out. I've got a list of this question before and a bunch of examples. I wonder if I can find it in my desktop and kind of send that out. Maybe even post it on our YouTube page. You know, here's a, yeah, if I find it, I'm going to post it on the Prosperity and Health Alliance YouTube page. Sorry, not YouTube page, Facebook's page. A bunch of examples that I've collected over the years. Carl, great, thanks. Awesome, thank you so much. That would be great. Yes, Sonia, I'll take a look at that as soon as we hop off. Reaching out, you guys, the time is ticking. If you've got any more questions to pop into the window, please do so now. I think in general, it's an awesome time to be building your business if you're in the springtime energy, right? Because people kind of coming out of the winter time, and you really want to lean into it now, because if you wait too long, you get into the summer time and people get a little bit distracted. So, you know, here's the opportunity now to take advantage of the energy that's in the air and really go for it in your businesses. So, okay, it seems like we got no more questions. So I want to thank you guys for being on the live show tonight. I wish you great success in the next week of your businesses. And if you're watching this at a recording in the future, congratulations on your decision to be involved with the Prosperity Health Alliance, and in particular Enagic and Kangen Water. Please use all the resources available, and I hope you found a lot of value in tonight's webinar. Thanks very much. It's Creel Hutchison signing off from the Prosperity and Health Alliance. And thanks so much to Kim in the background for all her continued support and technical help. Thanks, everybody. Have a great evening.